Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alara Canfield Show, the Create Your Life video series. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about how to go beyond mediocre to infinite possibility. And I have been so fortunate to be able to have these wonderful conversations with these powerful creators of magnitude. I mean, like, they are awesome and creating so much in the world. So how did I get so lucky to be able to have these conversations and facilitation? Because, if you don't ask a question, I will ask a question. So for those of you who are on live now, you can raise your hand, or you can type in the chat, or if you don't know how to raise your hand, just unmute yourself, okay? Because sometimes somebody asks me, how do you do this? Like, I don't know. There's a button, you just press something. But thank you so much for being here. And today we have Susan Lazar Hart here with us. Susan, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everybody for showing up now and in the future. I know what it's like at this time of year. So grateful for all of you showing up, for sure. Yeah. And thank you for creating too. Wow.
Thank you. No, it's been wonderful. Such a wonderful experience. I'm so grateful. And I just wanted to share with everyone a little bit about you, Susan. So, I mean, I've known you and of you for a long time, since a long time, because when I was in Ottawa, right, way back when. And so that's when I took my first bars class, and my friend Carol, who I took my first bars class with, she was always hosting you for other things, body processes and so on and so forth, which I never made it to. But she's like, oh, Susan's coming, Susan's coming, Susan's coming. It's like, oh, okay, where's she from? Montreal. Oh, but then I did meet you at a class in Toronto. I think it was like the level 2, 3, or one of those things.
Yeah.
As well as a 7-day. So it's been a while, right? But we haven't. And were you on my show? Were you on Awaken to Happiness Now?
Possibly.
I think you were. Yeah, not last year, but the year before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, time goes by so fast. But at that time, yeah, you were on Awaken to Happiness Now one season, because I just love your energy and what you do with the tools of Access Consciousness. And so you've been with Access a long time. You are an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. You are a right relationship for you. Not just facilitator, but a creator, right?
Yeah, it's my baby.
Yeah, exactly, right. CEO of that. So you're a speaker, a coach, an author, and you work with so many different people in different classes. But one of your, I was going to say, areas of expertise is also bodies, right? You work with bodies and relationships, right? And so I'm hoping that you can share with us, because there's newbies, right, who don't know a lot about Access Consciousness, but we will be we will be using the tools of Access Consciousness on the show. So we will use the clearing statement, and I'll put the link in the chat box like I always do. And at the same time, can you share with us, tell us your story. But like I said, you've been with Access a long time, but can you tell us how you got started with Access way back when?
Absolutely. You mean when we came in a covered wagon?
Yeah, right? It was a while ago.
Yeah, I actually was a professional painter for about 30 years. I have a master's in painting, and I was in the gallery systems and in architectural magazines. And I created heavy metal poisoning. And so I started investigating different ways of being with my body, with everything. Because, can you imagine, you've got 30 years of, I'm a painter. I'm a painter. Who are you? I'm a painter. I'm an artist. Right? Can't you see my studio is filled with paint, and I have a printing press? This is who I am. And then all of a sudden, you're not that anymore. So I started asking myself, well, if I'm not a painter, who am I? And so started really investigating that beingness that we talk about. I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a painter, I'm a lover, I have something in my eyelashes. I'm a
right now you're a guest.
I'm a guest. And the medical community told me I was just aging. I lost all my hair, my eyelashes, my eyebrows. And they said, oh, you're just aging. Meanwhile, I was painting as if my brains were being sucked out of the back of my head, 15-foot paintings with a blowtorch and on a ladder, and thinking I was Jackson Pollock or something. So Yeah. So, and they are. So, in my investigation, I found this amazing chiropractor who had gone to school with somebody called Dr. Dane here.
Mm.
And at that point in time, I was studying a yoga teacher training. I was going to be a yoga teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who am I going to be? Right? You detect a theme in here.
Yeah.
Right? Who am I going to be?
Yeah.
And so she started telling me about access, and I said, no. I meditate. I know who I am. Then I watched everybody shift and change in over about 6 months. And the next time she came around and said, oh, I'm offering a bars class and foundation, I said, well, I'll just go to the bars class. That's it, because I really don't need all that extra stuff. I'll go to the bars class and check this out. And my dad's coming for the weekend. And in those days, the bars class was taught like from 4 to 9 or 10 at night.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this bars class. I thought, wow, this is kind of stuff I've always known. Right. And then I said goodbye to everybody. Sorry, I won't be able to see you ever again. I'm doing my own thing tomorrow. My dad's coming. So then I go home, and I think on my hand I had written something like, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And I'm walking up the street reading this, and, wow, this is kind of cool. Okay. And I go to walk my dog, and I come back, and the key has fallen out of my pocket. Now it's about 12 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Nobody's home.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back to the park that I'd walk the dog in, and all the lights are on. And I'm like, okay, what did I learn tonight? Ask a question. So I asked, okay, what else is possible? Looking up at the full moon, and I look down, and there's the key to my house.
Wow.
So I go home. Yeah, I go home, and I listen, and my father says he's not coming for the weekend. I was the very first person in line for that foundation class the next day.
Wow. Good for you.
Whatever this is, whatever magic this is, whatever magic I be, I'll have more of this.
Yeah.
And slowly I'd hitchhiked all over the world when I was 16 and 17, and I always believed it was my angels taking care of me. I never gave me to have a space for actually to acknowledge me.
Mm-hmm.
And so here I am with all of this, starting to acknowledge, wow, it's not all the beingness is. It's like, who am I today?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And what can I play with, and what can I create, and what's greater here, which is how I'd always played. But I'd never heard somebody else put it into words.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that was like, I remember Ricky came home, and I showed him the foundation manual, and he had studied philosophy and Greek and all kinds of stuff. And he says, oh yeah, this makes sense. And he said, by the way, you're looking very beautiful to me. So I had already started to shift into who I truly be.
Yeah.
And you know what? One of the things I found, I've been with Access now for over 12 years and been a 3-day body class facilitator and CEO, as you mentioned, a right relationship for you. And one of the things I find is people are always looking for who they are. And the biggest delight is when I see people discover, oh, what if there was nothing wrong with me? This actually is who I be. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm a jerk, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes but this is this yummy person who entertains. Like, I love myself. I entertain myself all the time, right? Like, what if there was nothing wrong with that? Mm-hmm. And what if everything you chose brought you to the magic that you're playing with right now without discrediting any of it? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, what brought me into Access and how I've been playing with Access. It just made sense. It was more like, I always knew that. Oh, yep, always knew that one. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's kind of the way that I've been playing ever since.
Oh, I love that. And, you're right. When, for a lot of us, when we first get the tools of Access, the first bars class, the first foundation manual, yes, like, yeah, I know that. That's exactly what I've been thinking. This is what I've been saying in my head. No one's listening to me. And here it is written down.
Yeah, exactly. Who put that there?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, perfect. This is like somebody speaks my language. I love this. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And the other point that you just mentioned right now, which I think is so key, it's about not discrediting who you were before, who you are now, your choices that you made before, not discrediting that, but acknowledging.
You are the composite. One of the things I really urge my clients to start playing with is acknowledgement. Mm-hmm. You are the composite of all that you be. You're not one thing. You're not one person. You're not one anything. You're the composite of everything. And that's why you have this amazing toolbox that you can play with called you. right?
And just acknowledging you as
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
gift that you are, just by you being here in the first place, like being present, being just
Right?
choosing
Yeah.
to be here. It's like, it's huge. I was just saying that in my group earlier today, in my higher dimensional intensive group. I was talking about acknowledgement. It's like, we don't acknowledge ourselves and the gift that we are and be, and everything that we have learned or experienced. All of that makes you, right?
Yeah.
Have you acknowledged that?
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, I'm guilty. Guilty as charged. I do not. I don't acknowledge. I'm getting better, but you know what I mean. It's like we weren't taught to acknowledge that.
No. Well, if you don't acknowledge it, you keep this reality real.
Mm.
To actually acknowledge you and have gratitude for you makes a lot of people nervous.
Mm.
So, as Dane would say, go out there and fuck things up, man. Let's make people nervous.
And have fun, and that's the thing, is like, a lot of times I was told by my family, just calm down, just don't do anything, don't make waves, don't, even in work, I used to work in the government, and my boss was like, don't make waves, just, just go under the water, just like whatever. It's like, really? It's like, I can't, that's not me, but that's why I'm no longer there.
I see someone has a very interesting question.
Caroline.
Yeah.
So she says, how do I stay in joy, beingness now, and not go back to being affected and reacting to me and around me? Do we ever just stay in joy?
Well, Caroline, that's a wonderful question. Let's play with the word stay. Is it really possible to stay? We are made of molecules that shift and move every like nano of a second. It's the misrepresentation of who we be to believe that we could actually stay anything, right? So joy, when you're actually willing to have gratitude creates joy. Joy doesn't create gratitude. Gratitude creates joy. So it's the willingness to even be grateful for the jerk you were yesterday. Like I just went through a week of like, and 2 days ago I was like, and just asking questions, but so present, and bam and bam, and then all of a sudden I chose something yesterday, and my whole body was like, oh, thank you. And I woke up giggling around 3 a.m. Now, am I going to stay like that? I hope not. Because everywhere we decide we have to stay anywhere, we're actually negating everything the universe has to gift us. That bounty the universe is there for us. I mean, if you could see my desk, here's part of an apple I started eating at 11 and got bored with that. Here's some cold tea. Over here, I see the universe sends me dimes all the time whenever I choose something that actually creates greater. So I have like dimes. Here's a painting from a favorite painter of mine, Wolf Kahn, who's dead. Here's a polar bear I bought for my little grand being that I just kind of like. I haven't given it to her yet. Here's some freeze-dried blueberries from tea. None of it stays anywhere. What I might encourage you to do, Caroline, is what would it take for you to surround yourself with the nurturing elements that actually create what you're asking for? And that heavy breathing is not me, it's my dog, Shiloh.
I was going to ask you, is there a pet in there somewhere? Is there a dog?
I'm actually having sex when you're not turning around. Well, Shiloh, thanks for your contribution. Go on. Okay. So, Carolyn, I hope that gives you some more information. When you say we want to stop being affected by something, well, you might ask, who does all of that belong to? Because if we say we're at the effect of something, we actually don't have choice. And choice is what we truly do have. That's that comfortable distance I'm sure people have been talking about on your show. Everywhere you buy into that you are effect of something, you actually create a comfortable distance between you and you.
Yeah. And so she knows this tool. She knows the who does it belong to. We've talked about this before. But you know what? Sometimes we don't ask that question in that moment. It's like we just get stuck in whatever we're experiencing, right? And it's like,
So Carolyn says, when we ask who does that belong to, is bad feeling not supposed to go away? Well, again, what point of view are you taking? That even in the face of total awareness, you're not choosing different. Mm. Right? Because the lower harmonics we know with access consciousness are thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You actually have to think something, right? To quote unquote feel it. Like, oh, what is this? Sadness. Oh, okay. What am I perceiving? Sadness. Oh, okay. So I'm feeling sad. Or I'm feeling something. Thought, feel, and emotions. So then we go and mimic this reality of what sad, bad, glad, had, happy, all the distractor implants, what that is supposed to look like. So it's very much involved in making this reality real. And that's a choice. Okay, we have the upper harmonics of perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving, right? Like my dog that just walked in here, she's perceiving, oh, there's a lot going on in this room. Mm-hmm. She knows that she'll get kicked out if she's not quiet, so she's quiet now. She's totally being her, and she's willing to receive everything from everyone and be the gift of embodiment she truly be. Mm-hmm. So what would it be like if you actually started playing with, what is it I'm perceiving here, instead of, what would it take for this bad feeling to go away? What would it take for you to say, so is there anything that I'm receiving that actually isn't mine? And everything that brings up, uncreate and destroy that. What do I know? Like, for everybody listening, lower your barriers, expand out, and step into the vibration of what you truly know. Wow. What if that's your sweet spot? Oh. And that's who you truly be. And anything that doesn't match that vibration, it's not yours.
Oh my goodness, I just love this.
Yes, it's not yours. So, I work with clients all around the world, as we all do, many of us do on this call. Mm-hmm. And it's really the willingness to, what is it that you're asking to create? Not what is it you don't want to create. What is it you're asking to create? What's the vibration of that? Okay, get the vibration of that. And the reason why I talk about vibrations is we are vibrating every nano of a second. Mm-hmm. Our cells are, our skin is, the air on our face, the vibration. When you walk into a room and you smile, what vibration do you create? Right? Just by walking into a room, how much you change something for someone, just by being you with no point of view. So, instead of going to what you want to get rid of, what if you actually start asking, okay, what would I like to create? Because if you step into what you're asking to create and how you're willing to play with it, what isn't working for you will slowly just fall away, because you won't be putting your attention on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, I remember back in the day when I used to be a psycho bitch from hell, and I used to experience these really be depressed or be angry, freaking out, whatever, and I'd be I'm looking at it, it's okay, I'm not going to judge it. It's okay, I'm feeling this. And I was in the feeling thing, right? It's okay, I'm feeling this, but there was more of a question. It's okay, well, what is this exactly trying to tell me? Because there's something else here. And of course it was I'm fucking miserable. I'm really unhappy. I don't like this life. I don't like what's going on, and gotten to the root of it. So it's and then once I was able to get that awareness of what it is, it's okay, now I can choose something else. Yeah. Right. And so for me, sometimes in the past, I like to go deep into that feeling, whatever it was, just so that I could get that awareness of what is it exactly? What else is there, behind it? But that was just me. But because for me, it's about validating those yourself for whatever it is that you are experiencing in the moment, not shutting it out and saying, well, or judging yourself for feeling angry or frustrated or whatever. It's about, okay, I'm feeling this, I got it, but what else is there, and getting to that, and then being able to, for me, changing it after that. Once I knew, it was wow. Now I don't experience that anymore.
My dad would say there's a whole bunch of horse races, and that's why they have different horses.
Exactly, right? We're all different. We all do,
exactly,
process differently. But
can you elaborate upon being the effect of something? Gate 2. Hi, Gate 2. Well, you actually have to choose that whatever it is has more power and potency than you do.
Mm-hmm. So those
then
distracting implants have more power
real.
and potency. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When we say we are at the effect of something, we're actually choosing a choiceless universe.
Yeah.
Like I was
there she is. I hear her.
Hi. I was just outside walking the dog and it starts to rain and I'm like, I have to be on camera in 15 minutes. So rather than choosing to be the effect of it, I actually asked the weather to shift and change and just put my hands over my head. Like we have the capacity to shift and change anything.
So if I'm, let's say if I'm upset about somebody did something silly and I got upset about it, so I'm getting to be the effect of that person's attitude, right? Whatever. So how could I change?
It's actually a lie. Okay. When we say I'm getting to be the effect of something, we've already concluded and decided what we're going to be. Rather than saying, well, that's an interesting point of view. Huh. Who does that belong to? Wow. I buy that as true and real for what reason? What's greater here for me? Okay,
so if I'm
working for me, what's greater here for me? Yeah.
So if I get sensitive about something, how can I change and shift the molecule of that sentiment at that moment?
Okay, I would like you to listen to what I'm saying. Okay? Gary calls me Susan Lazar Hart. Mm-hmm. So I'd like you to take a breath, lower your barriers, and I'd like you to actually listen. It's not about going back to what you've decided you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we say, if I am too sensitive, we already are living in a conclusionary reality that we're too sensitive. So it's like you can't, do you want to fight your way out of a paper bag?
No.
Well, who did you buy it from that you were too sensitive? What have you decided too sensitive is? How many people right now were told they were too sensitive? What if too sensitive is you're just fucking aware, man? Right. Pardon my French. With R-rated call. Don't buy anything as true or real. And it's not about, it's not about going backwards to try and figure something out. If something works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Would you go into a store and come out with clothes that don't fit you and try to figure out how to make them fit?
Good one.
Well, that's what we're doing when we go back.
But what if it's it's just happened today, and today I'm like about it.
Gay two. How much do you love it happened today?
Mm-hmm.
You see, nothing happens to us. We create everything. We're not isolated on the planet, each one of us. So if something isn't working, if you're in a communication that doesn't work, what tools do you have? You have a huge toolbox. I know you, right? We have a huge toolbox. So we have a choice here. We can either make the drama and trauma much greater than choice, or we can say, wow, interesting point of view. Doesn't work for me. Okay, cool. Now what else is possible? You see, how many of you are using thoughts, feelings, and emotions as a distraction from creating what you say you would like to create?
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Lovely.
Everything that is, can we uncreate and destroy that?
Yes.
Yes.
Good and bad, right and wrong, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and men. And how much do we hold on to our story?
Mm-hmm.
How many of you were taught, hold on to your story, so when you came home from school, do you know what happened to me today? Oh my God, it was just so terrible. Look what my boss did to me. Or, oh my God, my husband, or my wife, or my kid. I can't believe what's happening to me. Oi, I'm so verklempt. God, hand me a drink for Christ's sake. I need a drink. I had a horrible date today.
Oh God.
Right? It's fun. Indulge in it. Don't buy it. Right? Have fun with it. If you want to be a drama queen, be one. But don't buy it. Indulge it. Use it to your advantage. Why not?
I tend to sometimes, which I shouldn't be doing, I tend to just okay, that's not working for me and I didn't like it, whatever happened, and I just distance out from that person. So I acknowledge that that's probably separation, which I don't want to do, but somehow then I feel that, I can't. I can't put up with, like being double-faced or whatever. So I just keep a distance.
Well, how many conclusions, Gay-2, are in what you just said? None of it created greater possibilities. I can't put up with being double-faced. I don't want this. I had that. None of it has to do with creating greater possibilities. Never did I hear you ask, what's greater here for me?
And what else is possible now?
And what else is possible? It's really a choice. Honestly, Gary will say you cannot pot and pock a lie. So anywhere, what have we all made, or what have you made, or whoever is listening now and in the future, what have you made so vital, so valuable, and so real about the jails of this reality, the judgments, the agendas, the illusions, and the limitation that is keeping you at a comfortable distance from what you say you're asking for? So we can dig up everything wrong that happened. Or we can say, well, that wasn't very successful. Okay, now what else? But it's a choice. It's a choice. And at some point, you can choose to use the tools or not.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I totally get where you're coming from, Gay-2. In this reality, we're validated for what's wrong. You have a whole psychiatric industry based on what's wrong.
Right.
There's no value placed on, it's not important. No, it's not important. Okay, what else is possible? And so try playing with that today. You know what the tools are, right? The capacities that you have to play with the tools. Now it's a choice. Like every morning when you wake up, everything I've aligned and agreed with, and everything I've resisted and reacted that is actually keeping me in this place, uncreate and destroy that. It's that simple. It's kind of like sitting at the table and you've got this beautiful table set with crystal and different glasses for water and red wine and white wine, and you've got a fish fork and you've got, a dessert fork and you've got a meat fork and you've got different knives. And instead of enjoying it all, you put your face in the dish and you go, you come up with all your food all over your face, and you go like, I don't know why this always happens to me. It's just an interesting point of view. It's not something that can be solved. It's a choice.
Okay.
So please listen to this again. There's a lot of juicy little tools in our conversation, and I adore you for asking. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Susan. I adore you for answering.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of meat in there for everybody. So thank you.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you, Gitu.
Yep.
Thank you.
So we're going to go to Paige. Where's Paige? Paige, I'm going to unmute you. Oh, yeah, I'm going to unmute you, Paige. There you go. Hello?
Hi.
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 Mm-hmm. Hi.
There you are.
Yeah.
Hi, Paige. Welcome. What's up?
Yeah.
What can we do for you?
I want to figure out what I want in life and what's a good way to do that.
Awesome. I love your question. Here's your home plate. Write down 5 priorities. Okay? Take the time after this. I want you to write down 5 priorities of how, lower your barriers, expand way out, and ask yourself, so what are my 5 priorities? Like, mine are abundance, creativity, joy, waking up in a joyful day, curiosity, being surrounded with people who are curious and have me reaching up, not reaching down. Okay, so those would be my personal 5 priorities. Then after you write your priorities down, ask yourself, okay, so which one of these is tugging at me the most right now? Right? Which one of these am I not willing to be? Which one of these comes first, second, third, fourth, or fifth? Doesn't have to. And what can I start creating right away that would match the vibration? Like, for instance, the vibration of abundance, the vibration of curiosity. I'm always studying things and reading things, and I won't turn this around and make you dizzy with books. And it's just like, I'll be, curiosity is, for me, it's like, oh, what's that? What's that? Who's that? How does that taste? What does that look like? So I'm going to choose everything every day that matches that vibration. If it's not matching that vibration of abundance and curiosity, and having me reach higher, I'm not going to go there. Does that give you information?
Yes.
Awesome. There you go. And you know what? Come on over to Ask Susan. It's free. It's every Sunday. We have live streams. I do a live stream Q&A. And let me know. Come on over and just say, hey, Susan, I've been playing with this, and this is what's come up for me.
Okay.
Love to hear from you. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Paige. I think that is something that's relevant for a lot of people. So thank you.
Yeah, especially at this time of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got lots and lots of questions here.
Yep, we do.
Ask Susan. If you go to Ask Susan on Facebook, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
Just Ask Susan with Susan Lazar Hart on Facebook. You'll find it.
So there's a lot of questions here. I'm going to see if I can go back a little bit. I know, hold on one second. So Joe Kathy had a question. She says, when I truly be me, I've become aware it creates so much jealousy in other people's worlds. Then I notice I shrink myself to make them comfortable and myself as well. What question or clearing can I use to create beyond this, as I've become actually aware this no longer works for me?
So this is Joe?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Joe, and for everybody who this resonates with, at what age did you give up being you? Wow. So everything that brings up for everybody, can we uncreate and destroy that?
Yes.
Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and puck, all nine shorts, boys and meow. For some of you, it might have been in the womb. For some of you, it might have been 2, 3. But this is, Joe, this is where I would begin. So at what age did I give up being me? It's like, 2. Okay, so what was going on around 1:45, right? What was I aware of? Like, how many of you were so aware that you weren't encouraged to be you, that you started to put you behind you so others wouldn't notice you? Yeah. So everywhere you develop that habit of hiding you so nobody would see what you can be and do, would you be willing to uncreate and destroy that?
Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and puck, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Yeah. So, it's so interesting. Would you be willing to outcreate you every day? Right? Because if everywhere we're hiding ourselves, we're stopping all future possibilities. Everywhere we're hiding our potency, our creativity, our joy, you can't make someone else happy. You can't make somebody else special. You can't make, the only thing you can make is in your pants. And you can see I have no fun in my classes at all, right?
Oh, God.
So it's really, aren't you glad you had me on now?
I was not expecting that. I'm just going to
So neither was my throat, obviously. So, yeah, you might ask, so here's a couple of questions for home play. Every day ask yourself, what's greater here for me? And would I be willing to outcreate whoever it is you're making yourself small for, whether it's your mother, your father, your partner, whoever that is? Would you be willing to eliminate and eradicate everywhere you are biomimetically mimicking this reality so you are not seen?
Oh my God, I'm like, Kathy, thank you for this question. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, everything that brings up, uncreate and destroy that. Please.
Yes.
Yeah. I know I tend to get down and dirty right quick, right? Yeah, it's like, bam.
And so this is for everybody, not just Joe.
Did the car leave the lot yet? Did the airplane take off? Because we're flying, baby.
Exactly. So just, and that's, I just want to say this one thing, because sometimes people get caught up in their own question, but if something is resonating with you, reading for you, like if you're getting like all antsy, like I'm getting, just listen, just take it, just use the clearing. So all this information, all these clearings are for everybody, not just the one person that's asking. Okay.
Oh, for me too. Because what's popping up for you is we don't live alone. right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not isolated. So, what's popping up for you is generally popping up for everybody. I remember my very first Access classes, and, the 7-day or something. And I remember sitting there, like right in the front, like a good doobie, right? And, and I was like, my hand would be like this, right? Finally, Dan looked at me like, huh? And what I was doing was picking up everybody else's questions. I'd be like, no. Oh, no. Yeah, no. It looked like I was having an orgasm under my armpit or something, right? We don't live alone. We have an amazing capacity to pick up everybody's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And the brilliance of these tools is you have choice. You can ask that question. Who does that belong to? Like, so many tools. So many tools. It's about really ask which one of these tools would assist me today. And you know what? I can show you. Well, anyway, I've got tons of clearings, right? on my. Don't you like my breasts? I've got tons of clearings, on my thing, and I look through them all the time. It's just like,
oh my God,
like, what mistake am I unwilling to make that if I did make it would give me all of me? What can you be or do different that if you would be or do different would allow you to eliminate everything that you cannot change? You've decided you cannot change. It's just, we've got tools, man. You got a toolbox. But if you don't open it up, it ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You can stare at that painting all the way you want. If you keep saying, jump on the wall, well, you might need a nail and a hammer.
Yeah.
Or you can say, I can do it. I can do it. I can make that painting jump on the wall. Yeah.
You could try it.
All the beliefs. Somebody here asked about belief systems.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to belief systems is the currency of this reality. That's all it is. It's all the religions, all the governments, all the organized systems. It's based on you believing that they are true. Mm-hmm. When you decide that something is good or bad or right or wrong, you create a belief system so you don't actually have to be in question. So at what age did you buy into trust me? Mm-hmm. I know what's better for you than you do. Whew. Everything that brings up for everybody on Create, Destroy That.
Yes.
Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9 shirts, boys and beyond. It's, it's just an interesting point of view. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. Whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's just like, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. And remember that.
And you can ask that question too. Does this work for me? Yes or no?
Exactly. Like,
usually that.
What possibilities are here for you that you haven't been willing to be or see? Like, what else is possible? If I'm having a conversation, I don't care who it is with. If I'm having a conversation, it's got to be about possibilities, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
If it's not about possibilities, what are you conversing about? Yeah. How do I get clarity? How to truly be kind to myself when others make demands of me that are not comfortable for me? Well, if something doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. The biggest kindness you can be to you is to start acknowledging what works for you and what doesn't work for you. You have the capacity to change things. Now, how do you change things? You start. You start with your priorities. What are my priorities? What are your priorities with a friendship? What are your priorities? Like, we have 30 people coming for the night before Christmas, but it's not the night before Christmas. We're pretending the night before Christmas is the 27th because everybody else is doing other stuff. So my priority is to have a space that everybody can come and celebrate in. It's not to buy into the belief system. So true kindness to me and to everyone else is actually the willingness to be present with what creates greater from the kingdom of we. When you're living from the kingdom of I, then you've decided that meeting somebody else's demands is greater for you than it is actually a kindness to you. Because when you are looking to meet others' demands, you've got to be honest with yourself and ask you, what's the value of this for you? Are you looking to be validated? What does validation mean to you? Mm-hmm. right? Even when a plane lands or takes off, they tell you to put the air mask on you first before you put it on anybody else next to you.
Yeah.
To thine own self be true. Heal thine own self first. So true kindness comes really from who you truly be and the willingness to be present. And then ask a question from there. Okay, so what would work here? What wouldn't work here? Receiving, knowing, being, and receiving. What contribution is this? What possibilities are here for me? Yeah. What question can I ask?
That's a good one. What question can I ask here?
What question can I ask? Sometimes, sometimes it's like, holy moly, this ain't nothing's working here. And I'm brushing my teeth and I look in the mirror and I'm like, all right, universe, what else is possible? Because this ain't happening. Show me some juice, sister. Truly, what else is possible? What question can I ask here? And that's okay, right? That's the willingness to be vulnerable, and be in the question. Because anywhere you go into conclusion about anything, truly, what else is possible?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's something that I remember saying even today to somebody, asking the question. So what else is possible here?
Yeah.
And she didn't get it. So like she didn't understand the question or to ask herself the question, what else is possible here? She was just in her mind, it's like, okay, so next time maybe she'll listen. I'm not really sure. It's my aunt. Well, who knows if she'll listen or not. But
there's a different way of playing with that too. One is acknowledge that they're right.
Mm-hmm. I did, which I did, yes.
And then ask, so truly, I wonder, what else is possible? Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like it's for the most part, people will tell you nothing is possible, and that gives you a sense of where they're coming from, and it's like, cool, wow, that must be working for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's like, all right, well, if that works for you, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we have, how does one deal with in-laws who exclude when they invite me? I do my best to not take it personally, yet I judge self for not fitting in. So everywhere you're buying their reality is true and real. Can you uncreate, destroy that?
Yes.
Yeah. I had in-laws.
Me too.
I quickly realized that I had the gold because I had the grandchildren. So if they wanted to see the grandchildren, they had to be real nice to me. And it worked. And they were real nice to me.
Yeah. Yeah. My ex-in-laws were really nice to me too.
Yeah. It's just, but if if they're judging you, they're not going to stop judging you.
Yeah.
What you can start to do is expand out, way out, and ask what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Right? What works for you and what doesn't work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, don't go there.
So that's a good tool, of the expanding out. I use that a lot when, sometimes it's like, I'm trying all sorts of different things, nothing's working. So it's like, okay, what else can I do here? So it's like, let me expand out, and that works for me for like even aches and pains in the body, thoughts, feelings, all that kind of stuff, it's like, let's just expand out, and then just be, and it usually just goes away, right?
Yeah. Well,
or you get a different awareness at that point. Yeah.
You change.
Yeah.
They don't. You change.
Yeah. And it's all about you.
Show is, sister.
It's not about anybody else. It's all about you.
I wanted to talk a little bit on here as well as somebody about the jealousy. There was somebody called Saint Jealous of the Divine, and it was a cult, and it was about hoarding. So if somebody is quote unquote jealous, they're really what it is they don't want you to change. They don't want anything to change. That's all it is. So often when we shift and change, it's about expanding those, I call them highways of energetics, so that there's always a space for them to reach you if they choose. And to know that they're invited if they choose. I think somebody earlier talked about separation, Getu perhaps. It's not about separation as much as being in total allowance so that you're always aware. Right? You're always aware of what somebody requires. Doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. But it's, jealousy really comes from hoarding.
So I'm sorry. I didn't get it. It's like, what do you mean? The whole jealousy thing is like, I don't get it. They don't want you to change?
Correct. Because the thing is, if you change, then they can't find you. Energetically, they can't find you. So let's say, we'll take a typical scenario where you have two people at a party, for instance. And one of those people is getting a lot of attention from somebody else. And all of a sudden they're like a little bit more giggly, or he's a little bit more attractive, and it's a little bit more, more heat coming off than you've seen before. And the initial reaction is, don't change, because I won't be able to find you. Or you won't be able to find me if you change that much. So people want to hoard who they were. They want to hoard that relationship instead of expanding way out. Like, I don't know how many times I've told this story. When I first started traveling a lot with Access, I came back for a Christmas party, and the hostess comes up to me. She goes, "Well, you've been away an awful lot this year." And I'm like, "Yes, I have." And she said, "Well, did you know that your husband is the most popular man in Montreal?" And I said, "I know, isn't that great? It takes all the work out of foreplay."
I love that. Yeah.
Your point of view creates your reality. So that's what jealousy is all about. It's just hoarding. You want to hoard. You want to hold on to. You don't want to let anything go that was. Yeah. Rather than creating something totally different and really enjoy. I enjoy it when Ricky's flirting and his body's turned on, because I get to go home with him.
It's so much easier. So much easier. Yeah. Geeta, did you have a question? I see you unmuted.
Oh, wow, you read my mind. You insist. Okay. When Susan says that always be aware, so you got to be aware as in always in question, continuously in like, what else? What is she trying to tell me, or what is she willing to receive from me, or constantly? But sometimes you're not able to be there at that immediate moment.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Okay. You have beautiful hair.
Yes, she does.
So
thank you.
When you go and buy some shampoo or conditioner, or do you just kind of energetically know what your hair would like the best?
Kind of. It always has worked out well.
Well, that's kind of what living on the planet's like. So it's not a job. It's more like, what am I aware of here? Okay. It's really, we're just, Geetu, we're taught life is hard, life is difficult. You have to figure things out. Don't talk until you're spoken to. I know better. All of that stuff. It's just an interesting point of view. They're just belief systems that keep you at that comfortable distance from actually knowing, perceiving, and being you. I'm
rather spontaneous. So sometimes I feel my spontaneity takes the lead, and not sufficient time to ask, like, what am I required to do here? Or what am I required to be here?
Okay. So you know that about yourself. How does it get any better than that? Now what else is possible? What if there was nothing wrong? See, it's not about fixing anything. A lot of people come to any modality, and Access is a modality. It's a way of being with you. This is not about fixing anything. This is more like, cool for me. Like, I have a happy dance I do. I'm seeing if I have my little button here. It's not here. It's downstairs. It's not about, what if there was nothing wrong with you? What if it's like, oh, wow, that wasn't my best moment. Okay, next. Oh, geez, I wasn't even aware that that's what they meant. Oh, well, now I am. Like, that's the curiosity. That's one of my priorities. I'm willing to be curious about what else is possible rather than stew about how did I fuck up there? You can live back there, or you can live in the question. So what can I be aware of today? And it's also listening to what comes out of people's heads and not what comes out of their mouths.
Yeah, that is.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. And really, for everybody listening, would you be willing just today, only for today? Don't ever do it again.
Okay.
Just for today. Who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventure can I be, do, have, create, change, generate, choose, instill, and instigate? And be that. Be that. Don't say, okay, oh my God, like, who am I today? What can I do? No, who am I today? Stop. Don't move forward and step into who you truly be today. Get the energy of who you be today. Maybe it's a funky energy. Okay, well, phone a friend. Like, I phone people who I know will ask me questions. I don't phone people who will align and agree with me. Okay, who am I today? Okay, or it could be, crap, who am I today? This is not me. Right? So who am I today? What grand and glorious adventure can I be? Okay, step into being a glorious adventure. Yeah. Now, what's required? You get the energy of that?
Yes.
It's totally different than, oh my God, I can't believe how bad I fucked up, and I can't believe this, and I did this, and so on. It's just a different energy. Who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventure can I be? Can you be? Right? What can you be? And again, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, well. I recently was listening, there's a lot of information on how the internet is actually destroying the brain and reprogramming the brain for what the internet requires of you. And this guy it was really wonderful. And he said, you're listening to the news, you're listening to people selling stuff, you're listening. Why aren't you listening to stuff that actually turns your body on and gives your mind, that space to just let it go? Right. So are you surrounding, my question would be, and for everyone, what are you surrounding yourself with that's actually nurturing you? And if your thoughts aren't nurturing you, let them go. Yeah. Like, I'm gone. Yeah. Let it go. Yeah. Cool. Gloria says, how do I create money? We didn't buy gifts for Christmas and we both are doing our best to not feel guilty. Guilt isn't real. Like, what,
it's one of the distractor implants.
It's a distractor implant. So, what could you be with you that creates greater? In the old days, before Amazon, we made cookies and gave them to people. We made jams and gave them to people. We made cakes and gave them to people. I might give somebody an hour for them to go have a date, and I would take care of their children. It's the gift of giving is the gift of you. It's not what can I buy today. And if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. So how many viable streams of income can you create to buy what you'd like to buy? Like, there's a toolbox here. Right? So, is guilt real? No, it's the way we use to stop ourselves. Guilt is just a fancy word for judgment. Guilt is all wrapped up with a blue box and a pink bow. It's really judgment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just, so everywhere you're judging you might ask, who does that belong to? Where'd you buy that from?
Mm-hmm.
I remember, we were giving presents and I didn't have any money, and I went into my mom's piggy bank, and I was so proud of myself because I went to the stationery store and I got this lovely box of stationery and I gave it to her, and she found out that I took the money from her piggy bank, and so she punished me and made me go back and return the stationery. She never actually asked what created that to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
That I had to feel validated for having a present.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's like the addiction isn't the problem. It's the addiction to the wrongness of you. Guilt is not the problem. It's the addiction to the wrongness of you.
And a lot of us have that addiction. But we can.
And who does that belong to? Again, who does that belong to?
Yeah.
What if just being you is the present? Like, Ricky and I don't give each other presents anymore. If I see something that I love, I might get it for him, and I could give it to him any time of the year or the day.
Yeah.
It's not, it's about the presence of you, not the present of you.
Beautiful. Yeah. I love that. So we'll look at the Q&A in just a second, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the free gift that you have for our viewers.
Oh, yeah. I'm so shy, Alara. I mean, I just, you have to force me to talk because like.
Well, I mean, it's like, this is going to come in really, handy, especially right now. It's called Getting Over the Ho Humps of the Holiday Season.
Yeah. Yep. This was a telecall that I did. I used to do this every year, and I think this is from last year. And it's really a telecall that I created where people come with what's going on with their money, with this, with that, about what's going on in the holidays. I don't get along with my aunt, my uncle, my brother, whatever that is. And so I think it's a 2-part call. And you've got the recordings there and the PDF of the recordings and the clearings. And it lasts, I think each one is about an hour and a half. And so it's a really wonderful, especially at this time of the year, if you like, because it's like a hump, it's a hump for a lot of people. So I thought, having fun with words, getting over the ho hump of the holiday season. And that's my free gift to everyone. It's like a little bonus that you can listen to play with. What would create greater for you? Deciding what's wrong or listening to something greater.
Yeah. I love that.
I wonder.
Yeah. So it's a telecall, a PDF, and a clearing loop. So
yeah,
choose for you.
Just on this holiday season for you.
And so it's on the gifts page, so you can download it. I tried it myself. I haven't listened to it yet, but I have downloaded it myself for me. So it's like, I'm going to listen to it too, because
good.
Why not, right?
Why not?
So Caroline, not Caroline. Hold on, sorry, Caroline. 1 second. So there's a question from Jessica. Jessica was a little while ago asked a question about. She says, I have a question. My ex-husband is having my 7-year-old son every other week, so I guess I have an interesting point of view too when I think that a child shouldn't be making his own breakfast when dad sleeps until 12. I get angry. I also know that he has chosen his parents himself and he doesn't make a big thing of it, but how much is okay? Dad is a bully too, etc. And I'm worrying a little about what that will have for effect in 10 years.
Well, Jessica, how brilliant are you that you created a son that can go create his own breakfast?
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't acknowledge that.
No.
Thank you.
He's great.
Yeah. So start acknowledging him for who he is and what he is. And don't mention anything about his dad. Because the thing is, we tend to think it's our job to share with our children about what's wrong. So my first suggestion would be to just keep acknowledging that boy about how brilliant he is, how wonderful he is. If he comes home and he's complaining about his father, is he complaining about his father to make you happy?
Yeah, maybe he is. I kind of already saw that, so I've stopped saying stuff about his father.
Yeah,
like,
brilliant.
Wow.
Because so everywhere we've given our children a job to protect us.
Yeah.
And give us what's wrong. Can we all uncreate and destroy that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and puck, all 9 shirts. Both, I remember years ago somebody said it to me, and it was a huge awareness for me. Stop sharing with your children. They don't want a buddy; they want a mom.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you're willing to be that much space and that much of allowance, and just keep acknowledging him, at some point in time, he will have a choice that he can make.
Yeah.
Right when he becomes of legal age.
Yeah, it's probably others' points of view too. Like they've asked me, "Aren't you worried about, your son all these last 7 years because we've been divorced since?"
Thank you so much for your concern. I actually can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Really, like when I had heavy metal poisoning and I finally got my hair grew back and my eyebrows and my eyelashes. People say, "But how are you?" I mean, but how are you? And I'd say, I can't talk, my body's listening. So that's the kind of responses you can give. If you know your son is in the house, I'm sorry, this is not a discussion for this time. And if he's not in the house, say, you know what? I'm just not going there anymore. I'm all about love and peace and light. Like, what do they, you know, you can't argue with that. But aren't you concerned? You know what? I've learned that there's a totally different way for me to be with this, and it's injecting positivity into everything I be and do.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, so for the most part, when people come to you with that information, they're not interested in creating anything greater or any greater possibilities. That's what in right relationship for you we call a false sense of intimacy. I'm so concerned for you. I'm so concerned for you, Jessica. How are you doing? Well, there's nothing
sounds
greater.
like my mom.
I do channel. Sorry. And so there's nothing greater there for you.
No.
So again, remember, if you're in a conversation, it's not creating greater possibilities, it's not creating greater.
Yeah.
And ask yourself, you know, what distraction are you using that keeps you from actually choosing your life and living?
Well, I'd like to have him with me and then move somewhere else, but
well, how much space can you be for his choices? And that's that highway of connection that I was talking about earlier, right? If we cut off that highway of connection, we actually cut ourselves off from us. You know, what a huge acknowledgement that is to you as a mom, that he has the wherewithal to be with all of this. And the less you give him to worry about you, the more he's going to be reaching up. And the more awareness he will have of what actually works and doesn't work. And he will then choose for him.
Yeah.
So he won't be choosing against you or choosing against his dad. He'll be choosing for who he truly is.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, cool. I'm on the right way then.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You sure is, baby. Yeah.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Jessica.
Cool.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. That was brilliant.
Yay.
All right. So just a really quick question from Caroline. She says, I really have trouble with, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, darn it. Why do vision boards then? Why ever want anything?
Good idea. Good point. Why? I have a sidebar. Why isn't a question? Why is when we're looking for an answer to validate a point of view. It's a little different when a 2-year-old says, why is the sky blue? They're really asking.
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, Carolyn, whatever works for you. Whatever, if you're playing with something, like, honestly, I have all these books, you know, sometimes I'll pick up some meditation from Pema Chodron. Sometimes I'll pick up something from Gary Douglas. You know, sometimes I'll go for a walk. Sometimes I'll be listening to, you know, a TEDx. So it's just be you and change the world, right?
I think it's a book.
Oh my God, right? If it isn't working for you, don't work it.
Yeah.
If it's not working for you, don't work it. If it's working for you, work it. Work it, girlfriend, work it.
If the vision board works for you, do it. You know, ask yourself, what's going to work here? And, you know, like, I talk about this all the time too. I have lots of tools I use, right?
It's not what works for you. I actually would like to correct myself. It's what creates for you.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. What creates? Yeah. Exactly. So what's
the thing is, you know, what energy, space, and conscious, and I'll leave you with this. I've got to go to another. We're on the 19th day of nurturing you over with Susan Lazar Hart. So we're on there. Some of you are on that one already. Gay2, could you please tell them I'm coming?
I love that. Yes, tell them I'm coming.
What was I going to say? I can't remember. Obviously, it was so important.
You said something about energy, space, and consciousness.
What energy, space, and consciousness? You know, I was at a 7-day and I had all of this very deep, heavy question to come up to Gary with at the end of the 7-day. I think we were at El Lugar, and I said, Gary, and I gave him my question, and I expected this, and he said, well, What energy, space, and consciousness can I be to be out of expectation, projection, separation, form, structure, and significance? I'm like, that's it? He goes, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be? Right? So it's really, you know, Carolyn, when I say, oh, well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, I'm not willing to make anything significant. So if I do, I'll indulge it. I'll be a drama queen or whatever it is, and I'll indulge it until it doesn't work indulging it anymore. So really, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to be out of expectation? I expect the world to be like this. It's not like that. Be out of expectation. Projection, they're supposed to be doing this for me, and no, expectation, projection. And really, when you run a clearing or ask a question, whatever you want to call this, be present with it. So I don't just say, okay, oh, like my God, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to be out of expectation, projection? Okay, I'm asking and nothing's happening. It's more like, what energy? Okay, stop. Be the energy of what you're asking for, right? What energy, space, and consciousness, step into consciousness, which includes everything and judges nothing, can I be to be out of expectation? Check out your reality, your universe, your space. Are there any expectations there? Are there any projections there? Is it causing separation? Yes or no? Right? Form. Am I trying to create something as a form or a structure as significance? If I am, I'm going to let it go. If just for 10 seconds. We've got these tools. You've got to choose to use them. Or not. Everything that is, I'm great, destroy that.
Oh, that was brilliant. Thank you. I mean, this whole call was like so brilliant. And it's like, oh my goodness. I mean, if I could, I would talk to you for another hour at least.
I know we could do this. And I'm thinking, well, I could, except for I got to find my phone because that's where I'm giving my class from.
You know, but thank you so much. This was so wonderful, and so many processes and so many tools and so many questions that this is something I think for all of us, we're going to have to listen to this again because it was a gift. So thank you, Susan. This was really
thank you for having me.
Yes, Susan.
Thank you. So, you know what? Come on over and play at, first of all, click on this free bonus gift. It's awesome. If I do so myself. And it's got lots of, especially right now during the holiday season, with your PDF, and you can listen to the loop again and again. And come on over to SusanLazarHart.com and see how we're playing. And, join me on Ask Susan. It's, as I say, it's my gift to the world. In this 10 seconds, it's still fun to play with. And people come with questions from all over the world. We have over 1,700 members. And it's just for you, just for fun. Ask Susan with Susan Lazar Hart. And thank you for what you're creating here, Laura. It's awesome.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for your questions and your vulnerability and, and for going there, for really going there. So thank you, everyone. Join Susan at Ask Susan. I'm in that group, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'm there. So we have one more show tomorrow. So hopefully you'll join us all tomorrow at a special time, so check your email. But thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Susan. This was such a blessing. I really hope we get a chance to do this again. It was wonderful. And for all of you, thank you. Until next time, continue to live your life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Sending you all much love and blessings always. I'm going to unmute you all so you can all say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Bye. You're so welcome. Thank you for your great questions. Thank you so much.
It was wonderful.
Thank you.
All right. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.